All right. Good morning, dear students. Here we are again. Welcome to my channel. Today, we will learn about the types of plants. But before that, I'd like to invite you to subscribe and like my channel. So I will be motivated to work more and to add some more lessons. All right, now here we are, types of plants. Our learning goal is I can describe the different types of plants. And this is Membrane. I hope to bring you to the magical world of plants. So please keep your eyes open and your minds alert. All right, so plants must be classified into identifiable groups in order for us to have a clear, organized way of identifying the diverse array of plants that inhabit the planet Earth. So this goes to show that the purpose of grouping them, organizing them, is so we are able to identify the different characteristics of plants. There are millions of plants on Earth. And if we are not able to group them, we are not able to identify common characteristics. And so here we are. Beautiful flowers. Okay, first group are the trees. It's so lovely. Did you remember the poem about the trees? That they are the most beautiful objects on earth. Okay, trees or a tree is a tall plant that can live for a long time. The tree has roots underground that secure it in place and provide nutrients for the tree. It has a single stem, or we call it trunk, with branches that have leaves on them. So as you see in the video, there is one sturdy trunk here, one sturdy trunk, and look at these trees. They have only one, and so of course there are several branches, and then there are small twigs. Twigs are the smaller ones that are connected to the main branches, and we have the trunk here. And then we have, of course, the leaves. The leaves are the ones that are manufacturing agents of any plant, and trees are not exempted. Okay? All right. Here are some examples of trees. This is, I believe, one of the tallest trees somewhere in California. All right, and then we have more here. We have the pine trees. We have the evergreens. The evergreens stays green even during winter. Actually, pine trees are also evergreen. And then we have redwoods of California. Redwoods, they are one of the biggest. Look at how these two people are kind of like measuring how big the trunk is. And we have a giant sequoia. This is, I think, the tallest of all trees. That's why it's called a giant, probably. Okay. All right. So those are examples of trees. And now we go to the second group, which are the shrubs. Shrubs. S-H-R-U-B-S. Shrubs. Shrubs are woody plants. So they are woody also, with some perennial stems. They are smaller than trees. They can grow like maybe 5 feet tall, like the ones at the back here. Now, when we call perennial, that means it can stay for a long time too. Like every year, if it is in Minnesota, Every winter it will fall off. The leaves are falling off, but then after winter, during spring, it will spring back too. Okay, so shrubs have woody branches. They have, or some examples of shrubs are hibiscus, or in my dialect, it's called gumamela. So they are low trees. They're small trees. Shrubs are small trees also. They call it that way. And our favorite rose plant is also a shrub. There are roses that are lower, but there are also roses that if they are just allowed to grow, they can be like small trees also. Okay. All right. So those are shrubs. They are small trees. Most of them are, some of them are flowering trees, and they have perennial stems. Okay. Next groups are the herbs. These plants are shorter than shrubs. So the tallest are the trees, and then the shrubs, and then now we have the herbs. They have weak, thin, and green stems, but are strong enough to let the plant stand upright on the ground. Okay, so these are examples of herbs. Broccoli is one. I just bought broccoli this afternoon. I'm going to plant it tomorrow. Mint, I don't know if you have, I think Somalis are using mint in their food. Basil, corn, and indoor plants, they are herbs. So they are shorter. They do not have branches, just like shrubs. They have weak stems. Normally, they just perish once they have borne some fruits, and then they die. But of course, indoor plants don't die as long as you water them. Okay. All right. So mint, as soon as they are done with all of the leaves that they can produce, they will soon die. Broccoli, once you harvest some of the, they are called, what do you call this? Heads, flowerets. So those are broccoli flowerets or broccoli heads. And the big ones are called heads. The smaller ones are flowerets. Okay, so once they, because I have grown broccoli already in my garden, once you cut all those and, the flowering season is done, it will just die out. Same is true in corn. Same is true in corn. So those are herbs. And now we have the vines. All right. I just put a background of the vines. They are plants whose stems require support. Trellis, they call it. And they can climb by tendrils or twining or creeps along the ground. They have very weak stems, but their yields are good sources of minerals and vitamins. All right, so here are some examples of vines. So any plant that is crawling or creepers, they call it, the vines are also called creepers because they creep on the ground. They can live on the ground, like watermelon and squash. You can just let them crawl on the ground. But if you want to construct a small, they call it tendrils, or they call it twines where they can climb. So that can support their stems as well because their stems are really very soft. All right, so here are some examples of vines. This is a butternut squash. I don't know if you have eaten this, but this is a butternut squash. Look at the stems. It has a support. It has a pole here that supports it. And then we have a trellis for bitter melon. I love this. They are bitter, but it is heavily loaded with minerals. Okay, bottle gourd plant. So this is a bottle gourd. It looks like a bottle, really. All right, so we grow this also in our place. And then we have watermelon. All right, a watermelon is a vine. Look at that. It crawls on the ground, creeping on the ground. You cannot have what do you call this, trellis like this for watermelon because they are heavy. When they are grown and they grow big, it's full of water, so it could be heavy. So they are just allowed to sit on the ground. That's why when you buy a watermelon, you will find that there is a spot that is white. That is where the watermelon sat for a long time. It will only be like 2 to 3 months and you can have the fruit, ripe fruit. Okay, so those are examples of vines. And now we come to the grasses. Grasses are also another group of plants. They have hollow stems. So hollow, meaning it is like a pipe. There is something that is empty or there's a hole. Their leaves are usually long and narrow with a pointed tip. So grass is a pointed tip. That's why when you walk on the grass, sometimes you're pricked by the pointed tip. They have thin branching roots that grow from the stem. They have thin branching roots that grow from the stem. Now, here are pictures of grasses. Actually, cereals are right like the rice plant is considered grass, but they are the most useful grass of all. Okay, these are grasses. Of course, they are grasses. This is a wheat plant. So cereals are considered grasses, but they are the most useful grasses in the world. All right, so wheat and rice plant. They are just very low. Look at the leaves are really pricky at the end. So look at this. So grasses also, just like other plants, they would die when their season ends, and then they will, if they are perennial, they can come back the next spring. That's how it goes. Anyway, that's how their life ends. And then they will come back. So they are called perennial, meaning every year they are going to come back. Like, of course, in winter, especially now, we have a very hard winter. Plants normally really had a hard time trying to cope up with their food so that they can last longer with the winter if it is long also. Okay, now that's the end of what I have prepared for you. Thank you and see you soon again. And of course, let me know if there is any topic you want me to teach you or to present to you. I would welcome that. Put it in a comment. I am reading your comments. I just do not have enough time to answer. Okay, thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you take the plant quiz. In that, I would want you to watch this like twice or thrice. But after watching this, please take the plant quiz, and that will be recorded too. All right, that's all for today. Have a wonderful day. Bye now. And this is Membran.